All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are cracking open an official government document that lays out a pretty detailed strategy for artificial intelligence. It's called America's AI Action Plan, and it's basically a playbook for winning what it calls the global AI race. So we're gonna break down exactly what's inside. Right from the preface, the plan hits you with this incredibly direct quote. This really sets the tone. It's not just about tech here. It's framing AI as an absolute must-win for national power, a core part of national security. No mincing words.
And really, the entire plan boils down to that one central mission: win the global AI race. The document brings this up again and again, even comparing it to the historic space race. The thinking is, the stakes are just that high. We're talking about who gets to set the world's standards for AI and lock in their economic and military future.
So that brings us to the real meat of the document, the strategy section titled Winning the AI Race.
So the big question is, how does the plan propose to actually win this thing? Well, it's all built on three core pillars. First, accelerate innovation. Second, build the infrastructure. And third, lead globally. Let's dig into what each of those really mean. First up, Pillar 1. This is all about hitting the gas on innovation, making AI development and adoption happen faster all across the country.
And the philosophy here is so important to understand. The goal, as the plan states it, isn't for the government to be in the driver's seat of AI development. Nope, it's to create the conditions for the private sector to lead the charge and thrive. The government's main job? Get out of the way. And you can see that philosophy right here. The document draws a really sharp contrast between what it calls the onerous regulation of the past and its new mission to remove red tape. The argument is that jumping in with heavy bureaucracy too early would just strangle innovation before it even gets going. It even points out that a previous AI executive order was rescinded for exactly this reason.
So what do these actions look like in practice? Well, they're pretty broad. The plan calls for using AI to protect American values like free speech, but at the same time, it wants to encourage open source models to really stir up competition. And it doesn't stop there. It's also about getting the workforce ready with AI skills and pumping investment into AI for science and manufacturing.
But you know, innovation is only one side of the coin. The second pillar tackles something just as massive, if not more so: building the enormous physical infrastructure that all this AI is going to need.
And make no mistake, this is a huge challenge. The plan is very direct about this. It says that AI demands way more energy and physical infrastructure than America has put up in decades. We are talking about a construction boom on a scale that hasn't been seen for generations, all to power the data centers and chip factories that AI runs on.
And to really capture that urgency, the document uses this very memorable quote. Simply put, we need to build, baby, build. That phrase just perfectly sums up the all-in approach here, right? It's all about speed and scale and cutting through what it sees as bureaucratic slowdown.
So what does this build-out actually involve? Well, the priorities are all over the map, from policy to production lines. It means making it easier and faster to get permits for data centers. It means overhauling the energy grid so we can keep up with AI's crazy power demands. It also means bringing semiconductor manufacturing back to the US. And of course, you need people to do all this, so it focuses on training a workforce to build it all.
Okay, so you have domestic innovation and infrastructure covered. Now the plan looks outward. This third and final pillar is all about how America can take the lead on the world stage. This is where the plan lays out what it calls a full-stack AI export strategy. So what's that? The core idea is to export the entire American AI ecosystem to allies. As you can see, that means everything: the hardware, the models, the software, and even the standards that guide how it's all used. The goal is to make the American way the global gold standard.
So this global strategy is really two-sided. On one hand, it's proactive, getting the American AI stack out there to partners and actively countering Chinese influence in global rulemaking groups. But on the other hand, it's protective. It calls for getting tougher on export controls for the most advanced chips and making sure our allies are on the same page with those protection measures.
So, we've gone through the three big pillars: innovation, infrastructure, and global leadership. What does this all add up to? The plan wraps up by painting a picture of its grand vision, what winning the AI race actually means for the country.
And this quote just captures the incredible scale of that vision. The document describes AI's potential as an industrial revolution, an information revolution, and a renaissance, all at once. I mean, think about that. It's framing this technology not just as a new tool, but as a force that could totally remake society, science, and even culture itself.
So, in the end, this document puts forward a really clear, really aggressive strategy for what it sees as a critical race. But it also leaves us with a huge question that comes from its own framing. In a race for AI dominance, what does the finish line even look like? That's the thought I'll leave you with. Thanks for tuning in to The Explainer.
Available now on Amazon and coming soon to Audible, narrated by Tom Brooks.